PHP stuff that I was working on today. Last time I said I was going to do some research, and I was reading about WordPress functions, and the hooks that I was using the other day that were really helpful for modifying a plugin. And it was really cool because I found out that you can tie into plugin functions using these hooks, these WordPress hooks, add action and apply filter, that are used with I think, what was it, maybe it was apply actions and an add filter. So there's two pairs that work with each other. So one of them, the apply filter WordPress function finds all the instances of, so you use apply filter when you are working with a variable, and you put that variable inside of apply filter, and then you can add things to the apply filter by using add filter in different places in your PHP. So you can use it in functions.php, easy to modify for WordPress. And so you can put the, so let's say you have a function, you have a plugin, and they thought to use apply filter when they were building the plugin, which, big plugins do use those things like WooCommerce and stuff. So they make it possible for you to modify stuff. So that means that you can use apply filter and like, let's say we have a variable, let's say we have like a variable called cost for WooCommerce, and they used apply filter for its declaration. So then if we want to modify that cost variable, then we can add in our functions PHP a variable called add filter, and it's going to add a filter onto the function that, it's going to add a filter onto the hook where that cost variable was initially declared. So when the cost variable is initially declared, there's a name given to it, that's the hook name, and then we use that hook name in functions.php with add filter to give some extra functionality that will modify the cost variable, which is great because that means that we can use these hooks to modify plugin functionality just by adding some code to functions.php, which is easy, and it avoids the issue of not being able to modify. You can modify the plugin code directly, but then once it updates, the code gets erased and replaced with the new code. So it's best to not do that. And then so there's that, and add action is a similar thing where it's an action, it's not a filter. So it's not a filter that filters the variable and returns a value to the original declaration of the variable, but instead add action just takes I think it's the other one is apply action, and apply action, I think add action was, it's add action, it's add action and do action. Yeah, that's the pair. So basically this one is like a hook where you can have several, you can have a do action, and that calls a certain function, or it calls a certain hook, and that hook can be connected to different functions in different places. So if if we have a function, we can have do action, like for example in one of our WooCommerce page templates. So it's going to print out, like, let's say a header, do action print out header is the name of the hook. And then so if we want to add something to this do action hook, we can go to functions.php and we can write an add action, use the add action function, and then that way, using add action, we can add more functions to run at the same time as that. I forgot what I said. Do insert header or whatever. So that means like, and we can give it a priority so that it runs either before or after the original functions are run. So that one, it doesn't exactly return a value. It just adds a function to the list. You know, if we're adding an action, that it adds another function to the list of functions that are going to run when do action is called. So that's another good hook to know. And I saw it being used in that, like the example I was giving. I saw it being used in the WooCommerce shop page template. So that's a couple PHP things I was working on today. I think we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it's helpful to go in and read the, you know, when I'm working on WordPress projects, to go in and, while I have the code that I'm working on right there in front of me and I have something to reference, you know, it's good to be able to go and take those real life examples and read about them in the WordPress codex and in the PHP documentation to learn more about exactly what's going on, and you know, even do some testing, because you've got like a, you know, basically a live site. If it's not, you know, maybe if your site's in a staging environment and mistakes aren't a big deal, then you can go and do some testing there, which is good. So yeah, it's fun. I like reading, learning new things, and you know, learning new things about PHP and WordPress functions are pretty cool. Especially when it allows me to do something like modifying plugins. I've had to do it only a couple of times, but then like, it's great to be able to know how to do it without having to have that maintenance issue of having to redo the change every time the plugin gets updated. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And we'll talk later then. Have a good weekend. Alright, bye.